So hey, so in this video we'll be uh, understanding promises. Uh, so what are promises? So as a normal, not from a uh, coding point of view. So what are actually promises? So promises is someone, maybe your parents, promise you that he will uh, give give a chocolate to you if you do a good result or you perform well. So there are basically either the promise will get resolved and you will get the chocolate or something, and either the promise will be on pending, pending stage. So the promise can be in pending stage, and you can say that till your exam or till your results, it will be in the pending state. And after you get the result, if you don't perform well, so the promise will be rejected, right? So promises are the ways to handle a asynchronous task in the JavaScript. So what does actually asynchronous mean? So you will be knowing that okay, we handle API calls, right? So you don't want your code. So basically, JavaScript is a single-threaded language, right? So it will only execute one piece of code at a time, or line by line. It goes line by line. So for example, there is a fetching thing, and the network can't is not able to fetch. So your code will be stuck, right? Your UI will get stuck and all. So this will create a bad UI experience, isn't it? So that's why the promises were introduced. So previously, when promises were not there, there was a callback system. The functions inside functions and side functions. So there are a lot of nested functions. So that's how previously they used to handle the network request or anything. So yeah, but the thing is, after they introduced promises, so it was much more easier to, and much more readable in sense. So that's why it was a success. And yeah, then let us see what is there in the MDN docs. So what MDN tells in the first line is that it is an object. Okay. So often asynchronous operation and its resulting value. So on the completion, often asynchronous. So basically, whenever there is an asynchronous task, so uh, the thing is, the fetching an API or something, it will take a little bit time, isn't it? So we can't wait. The JavaScript will waits for none. So it has to go to the next line. So for example, JavaScript should do should tell that okay, so this is a fetching thing. So I will take care of it. But the thing is, the rest of the code should not get stuck. So whatever there is after the fetching thing, it should go. And either there is a loading indicator or and all. So till then, till I get the request right, so you show the loading request, loading indicator. Otherwise, whenever the promise is resolved, or whenever I get the data and the promise is resolved, what I will do is I will just replace that loading indicator with the main data. So that's what the asynchronous operation means. So synchronous means line by line, as I have said, told you already. So there's the line by line, and no one's wants to be asynchronous. Right? So everyone wants everything in a synchronous manner. That okay, it should go step by step. It shouldn't wait or it shouldn't get stuck or something, right? So it allows you to associate the handler's asynchronous actions and success or failure for a reason. This lets asynchronous methods return values like synchronous methods. So basically, just for the ease, it basically takes an asynchronous task and it will let you know, and it kind of behaves like in synchronous task, I would say, if it gets resolved, or otherwise, if it's not, then it would throw you an error. So promises, as I have mentioned previously, that uh, any promise, I mean, in a general human perspective, that if someone makes a promise to you, either it will be in the pending state. For example, I have mentioned about the chocolate example. So till your result comes up, it will be in the pending state, and the next it will be fulfilled if you, I mean, get good marks on all. So it will be fulfilled and you will get a chocolate. And if you don't, so it will be I mean, rejected, right. So the operation is failed because you didn't perform well. So how can we handle this? I mean, so let's see how to make a promise. So let's make a normal function. So const maybe prom equal to uh, so promises. So yeah, yeah. So promises actually take maybe I would take time as such. I would make a set timeout, and what I will do is, yeah, I will just simply, I can return as well, or I think, yeah, I will write here itself. I think, yeah, new promise. How to create a promise? Okay, I think it is, yeah, yeah. So new promise, and promise will take two, as you can see, I think it was hovered again. Yeah, yeah, promise will take two, I mean, take a callback, one callback, and that callback will take basically two arguments. So either it will be rejected or either it will be resolved, right? So it will take a callback, we know that it will take a callback. Okay. So this will be the callback, and what it will give is, let's say, for example, it will take as a resolved, and it will take a rejected. So there are I mean, of what promise doing it? It is just returning a new promise. Yeah, I mean, it is just creating a new promise. Okay. So what I will do is maybe so for example, I will write a if condition that, for example, if time is greater than 1,000, then what it will do is it will just reject as such. Yeah, rejected as such. And if it doesn't, I mean, if it is okay, let us take it below 1,000. Yeah. So below 1,000, if the time is below 1,000, then it will basically be reject the promise. And if it's not, then what it will do is what I can do is maybe return. No, I don't need a return. It would, yeah, status will give a status 200. Okay. Yeah. I think I can create, yeah, I think I have to create a object as well. So if it was rejected, yeah, so maybe time, I will give a status as such, or create an object as such. S- 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 So it won't take a status as such. Let me write a set amount. Yes. Set timeout, and what it will do, the time will be from here. I will give the time, and what it will do, it will just resolve. This is all. Yeah. So this is doing is, what it is doing is that it will take a time, and if it's less than 1,000, then it will just give you a rejected value. It will just reject the promise, and if it's not, then it will just create a set timeout, and then after maybe whatever the time it is, it will just resolve that. So let's we can do so I have to invoke this. there are many ways to resolve a promise. So let's see what is our prom actually. Let result equal to prom, and let console the res, right? Let's console the res. So it will give me a promise. So promise, it is actually fulfilled, but I'm not getting the value, right? So I have to handle the promise. So whatever you do, so you have, I think, to read the documentation as such. So eventual state of a pending promise can either be fulfilled with a value or rejected with a reason error. So either the option occur, the associated handler is queued by the promise dot with a dot then method. So let's see what is a dot then. So let's I can do a rest dot then dot then as well. So that dot then will take a response, and what it will do, just log the maybe fulfill. Okay, I have to send the from some value as well. So let's take value as 1100. Okay. So for 1100, uh, it will re resolve the promise, right? So fulfill, and then it will take a dot catch as well. So what is dot catch? If the promise is not fulfilled, then it will throw an error, and we will take that error or else not fulfilled, right? So let's see what is. So rest dot from. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, it is fulfilled, right? Because the it is 1100. But the thing is, if I do on 900, then it will take not fulfilled. So there are multiple ways to handle a promise as well. So another way is I think dot async await as such. So if I do const uh, uh, mm, I don't know the variables name in GUH as such. Yeah. So I have to. This is a function. This should be a async function as such. And if I do this, and then if I do try catch, so try catch method basically is just like the dot then and dot catch as such. So for catch, it will take an error and it will just log the error as such. Error or not fulfilled. Fulfilled. And in try method, what it will do, it will just let rest similarly, and I'm just making it similar because, so for example, if it's 900, and if I do a log of rest, and if I have to invoke this go as such. So if I do this, yeah, yeah, if it's 900, yeah, uncaught in promise because it is rejected, right? So if I do maybe wait, let's make it 2000 milliseconds. So if I do 2000 milliseconds, okay, this is giving me okay pending. So we have to do a dot then as well here as well. So if it's res, uh, then I have to go console dot log fulfill and then dot catch not fulfilled, right? It is giving me the previous value, so that's why. But ultimately, because it is giving me a promise, so to handle a promise, we have to again do a dot them. You can also do a dot them here as well. So if I do maybe res equal to res dot, then I think this will still work. Yeah, you can do here as well. So dot res dot then you can do here. So it's not an error. So you can do dot then here as well, but it is recommended that you do dot then in the below. I mean the at the last to handle the promise. So let's see what is the actual. I mean, there is a diagram as well. So there's the promise. So if it gets fulfilled, then we have to do dot then. It is settled, and there is an async actions. And if it's return on the fulfillment, it will return a promise, just like we have seen here that this dot then and dot catch. This try and catch method we are doing here, and it is basically returning me a promise, a pending promise. So we have to again do a dot catch and dot then, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think one another thing is that how to handle more than one promises at a time. So if I do from one equal to what I can do is yeah, I can reuse this function as well. From one from dot from maybe 1,000. Okay, let me take 2,000 and do a dot then here. Do a dot then here and then res log fulfill fulfill one and then let from two is equal to from maybe 3,000 dot then res log and then from two. So these are the two promises. So let me comment out these things. So we don't need this now. So what is promised at all actually? So I think there is a documentation here. Promised at all. Yeah, this the promise. Promise a promise. We have to pass an array in the promised at all. Okay, let me switch. Yeah, promised at all. So promised at all. Basically, there is a this. For example, there are three promises. So to do I mean, for example, we have to resolve three promises at a time. So whichever promise comes first, it will just basically do a dot them. So it will handle three promises at a time. So we can just simply do a dot them. So yeah, promise dot all as well. Yeah, promise dot all, and then return value. You can say the return value as well. Yeah, you can go to the documentation. So let's see what we can do there. Yeah. I think if we do promise from start on, let's make this maybe 2100, 2100, yeah. Let's make promise dot all, and we have to pass an array. So from one, and then from two, from 10, response, maybe do a log that all promises are involved are resolved. Yeah. we do this, then you will see after, yeah. So you can see that promise one is first of all filled. I mean, at first the promise one got fulfilled, and then the promise two, and then all the promise got resolved, right? So yeah, this is how you can handle. This was all about the promises and all. You can go through the documentation as well. Uh, and I have explained you how to handle more than one promises. There can be multiple promises as well. So more than two. I mean, there can be hundreds of promises. So there can, so you can handle the promises uh, by this way. So yeah, this was pretty much it. Thanks. Thanks a lot.